Welcome to the good ride, where it's not about my pride, it's just about how the board rides. Today we're talking about the Gnu Antigravity. I got this for a few runs at the demos. I was hoping to get an extended demo, but they haven't been able to get me the boards like they used to. They're the only one in the industry who does this, but I did the best with the time I had, and I was also lucky enough to compare this same day, same boots, same bindings with the LibTech Dynamo and the LibRig. I rode it with Union Atlas and Burton Kendos. I've also ridden the old Antigravity in everything from hard, icy snow all the way up to thick, wet, semi-deep powder, and got a really good idea of how that rides. The only thing different with this new board is it has a bigger nose. When it comes to sizing, this 156 would be the size I'd buy. I really liked the way it felt. In the past, I've ridden the 159, and that worked okay for my weight, but it felt a little too slow and just didn't turn the way I wanted it to in all conditions. I'd say if you're somebody who likes a little bigger board, a little more stability, or let's say you have a little bit bigger boot than I do at size 9, you might like the 159 better than the 56. Now, some things that might make you want to swipe right: it's soft, playful, easy to butter. You get a lot of pop and energy out of this board. It has great grip for people who see hard snow. It has that new nose that should give you a lot better float in powder. Some things that might make you want to swipe left is the base is slow. If you like a more stiff all mountain board, you're not going to like this. You want the Dynamo or the LibRig. Now let's talk shape. It still pretty much has the same shape as the old Antigravity. It just now has a bigger nose. I thought that would make it feel more lopsided, but it still feels more like a directional all mountain board with almost no taper. It doesn't have that washy feel in the tail. When it comes to camber, I'd call this mostly camber. It's pretty much camber from the tip to tail, maybe a touch of early rise, and it feels a little more locked in, a little more technical than most hybrid shapes. That passive bend in the middle doesn't really help make it any more forgiving, but you get that locked in, good tracking feel that you get with full camber. The softer flex doesn't make it feel as catchy as some boards like the Dynamo would feel like. If you want even more forgiving with a little bit stiffer flex, you could go LibRig. That seems to have a little bit extra early rise in the nose and tail in comparison to the Dynamo and the Antigravity. When it comes to edge hold, there's a healthy disruption in the side cut. You can see there's some good waves there. The old Antigravity gripped really well in hard snow, and so does the new Antigravity. It can grab a little in soft snow, but I don't think most will mind. If you see more softer snow and you want a little less grab, you might be happier with the LibRig. When it comes to flex, this still has that same cool, soft, yet poppy, energetic flex that the old Antigravity had. It's very easy to butter, it's very easy to play around with, and it's very easy to ollie. I didn't think that the LibRig or the Dynamo were that hard either, but this is definitely easier, and I like that energy. When you apply that flex personality to all conditions, I would say this is a little more bucky, a little more bouncy than the LibRig and the Dynamo in uneven, thick, wet snow. That's what I experienced in the past with the old Antigravity, and it's not going to change with the new. It handles hard, bumpy snow very well though, and overall, it's not a bad ride for all conditions, especially if you ride like I do, where you slow down a bit when it gets messy. When it comes to speed, you can go straight with this. It has a balanced side cut that allows you to go straight. The board just doesn't have the dampness to really back a hard straight line. When it comes to base glide, I think overall Mervin's bases, LibTech and Gnu, are just lacking in comparison to their competitors at this price point. They do make some really green boards, and they have a lot of other positive qualities, so that's just a price you pay with this. You're just gonna have to wax this more to keep it at an acceptable level. If you don't wax it though, it's not gonna have a super low. When it comes to the turning experience, I felt like it could initiate a turn pretty quick with this 156. The 59 felt a lot slower for me, and that's why I like this 56. It's not super fast, but it got me wherever I wanted to go. When I got it on edge, I felt a really good spring out of the turn. This isn't a board that you want to pick up a lot of speed with and carve, but it had a pretty balanced turning experience that allowed me to across the groomer carve. It allows you to circle carve, but it also allows you to make down the line, longer, drawn out carves at moderate speeds. If you like higher speeds, go with the Dynamo. That's gonna give you a little bit more of an aggressive carve because of that stiffer flex. But for somebody who likes to carve, butter, ollie, play around, this is a very fun board. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get this in powder, but I got the old Antigravity in powder, and it was my least favorite board in tests I did same day against the Dynamo. This new nose should even that out. It should have about the same float, so I think this is gonna give you a lot better float. It's not gonna be up in that free ride world of float, but it should be very good now for an all mountain board. Now, despite this very directional look, this rides switch really well. It's something you could even jib with if you want to. You could hit medium-sized to small kickers with this, no problem. Maybe even some big kickers if you want to go there. I'm not going to, but you can. And I would love to ride this in pipe. I didn't have pipe where I demoed this, but I did try the old Antigravity in some pipe, and it did pretty well there. I love the grip and the way that camber drives from wall to wall. So overall, I think the new nose on the Antigravity is a welcome addition to this board, and it should make it a lot better in powder. And I think a lot of people will like this more than the old Antigravity.